We have to always stay open. That's what we learn. There's no past. When I meditate, do you think the universe is like, oh, Blake, you meditated for 14 years and you don't really have to do? No, there's just right now. I need to open it up like I've never done it before. Every single time. We all do. We have to humble ourselves completely before the universe. We can't do it with ourselves. And then whatever comes, comes. And that's where I'm at. And that's what's there. And every day will be different.
Welcome back to Cham Chats. We're here today with Mr. Blake Gus again. We asked ChatGPT what were the top 5 things that people are struggling with today that they might ask ChatGPT for help with. So we're here to discuss those things with Blake and Matthew and myself. So the first, hello Blake, sorry.
Hello.
Thank you for sitting with us today.
Thank you.
The first thing that ChatGPT said that people ask about is, what can I do about burnout and feeling overwhelmed?
What can I do about burnout and feeling overwhelmed? A lot of things come to mind for me. And also, I think for all of these questions, it might be a little bit hard because we don't have the exact context. I always like to get the exact context of what someone is going through because each situation can be totally different. And also, just like the universe, the creator is very compassionate and also very firm. Sometimes my advice to myself or my advice to others, always it's rooted in compassion, but it can also be firm. But every situation is different. For me, what's coming up, I'm empathetic to burnout for sure. I do think, though, we are overemphasizing it right now. I feel like that term, and there's a lot of new terms coming out. I feel like we went so far away from talking about mental health, like not talking about it at all, means like 20 years ago, to now we kind of overcorrected in a way, I feel like. And we get obsessed with like, oh, I have burnout now, or oh, and look, someone right might really have that, and I'm empathetic towards it. I also think it's we need to take care of our mind. We need to take care of our mind. This is a meditation podcast, so I'm going to suggest to meditate, but also sleep enough, eat well, get off screens. I think one of the keys too is we all have a friend. Do you have any friends? Is it either of you who the phone's always dead?
The phone is
Are you
dead.
or both you guys always have battery? I don't know. Do you have any friends who like the phone dies? I have some friends like that, or know some people like who actually get to the point where the phone dies. you know, it's like you don't start those people. They start charging their phone when it hits like 8%. The key is you got to start charging your phone when it's at like 30, 40, 50. You know what I'm saying? And you keep it up. Or people who run out of gas, it's like, yeah, I saw I was low on gas, and then I figured I'd just go on the highway anyway, and then I ran out of gas. It's like you should start to fill up the gas when it gets to like where the light comes on, right? And then you're never going to have that problem of running out of gas. Sometimes with burnout, I think it's that, but sometimes I think it is overthinking and over complexing what you're going through. If that's helpful, I don't know. I'm curious to see. I know we're all gonna answer these questions. What do you have to say about
I mean, for me, the thing that like comes to mind is like thinking about like purpose, because that was a lot of like what I struggled for. So I think it's also like whatever like you're doing, like do you have like a bigger purpose that you're working towards? So I think it's like if you're just doing something and not really knowing why or where you're going with it, then it's like if it gets stressful, overwhelming, then you can kind of get burnt out on it. I think I heard some quote once that it's like working hard for something you hate is called stress, and working hard for something you love is called passion. So I think it's like what are you actually working for and like why are you doing it? I
it?
think.
I love that. I totally agree.
Well, as you were talking about like that, I think I am that person actually.
Which person?
As soon as you said the gas thing, I was like, no, that's me. Like I wait until the very last minute to fill up my gas tank. And my phone, well, I have enough chargers on hand to, and it's not really an issue, but but I understand what you're saying though. Yeah, like even with my mental health, like yeah, it got really bad before I decided to do anything about it. So maybe that's a pattern that I had, um, but yeah, I think for a lot of people too, they kind of wait until it's like screaming at you before you're like, oh, maybe I need to address this. So yeah, as far as burnout, I don't know. I think like there were times where I felt like I had so much going on, and in reality, I really didn't have that many things going on. Like it was a little bit poor time management, um, and I think just like when you have a lot of thoughts and things happening in your mind, like anything you have to do can feel overwhelming. So to be able to like clear that out and then reapproach those things you have to do, I think that makes it a lot easier to like one, be a little bit more uh like have a little bit more of structure and schedule the things you have to do, but then also like not having the added weight of all this other mental clutter and whatever, can make it feel like a lot less pressure for those things that have to get done.
I totally agree. It makes me think of too, as we know, our body's like a camera and always recording everything and the feelings and emotions and thoughts all the time. I think that makes us really overwhelmed and burn out. We don't realize how much we're taking in, just all the time taking things in, and you might not notice how many things you've been taking in, and you're just not aware of the accumulation of all those different feelings, emotions, just like you talked about, because we were continually taking them in. And I really love what you said. If you're playing video games and you love to play video games, you'll play that all night without getting
Hmm.
burnt out,
Right,
right?
right, yeah.
So that is awesome. If you're doing something that you're passionate about, I don't think you would get burnt out
Hmm.
because you would love to do it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's not to say you don't have like difficult moments and
Of
moments of
course,
struggling and overwhelmed, but I think
of
that
course,
like that bigger sense of purpose sort of keeps you going or can keep you motivated too.
of course.
So the next thing people commonly ask about is what can I do about anxiety and overthinking?
It's very related to the first question. The anxiety comes from the accumulation of everything that we're holding in our life. So we have to recognize that. Once again, back to the thing about overcorrecting, we are so obsessed with the symptoms of things. We're so obsessed with the symptom of anxiety, and we're just trying to cure that symptom. We do so many things to try to cure that symptom. It's always best to try to find the root cause. If I just talk about myself, I suffer with anxiety so much, and I would have this feeling when I woke up of anxiety in my chest, really here, like so horrible, and just having that all the time. It wasn't until I saw what I was carrying for my entire life and specific snapshot moments that I wasn't even realizing that I had. And when I found those, wow, that's that same feeling. And I had that when I was 5, and when this and that happened at school. I had that when I was 7, when this thing happened with my dad. I had that happen at 10 when this happened with my friend, and release those one by one, one by one, one by one. That little by little, the anxiety in my everyday life started to go away. So for me, that's where the anxiety is coming from. I know that's like bigger picture, something that will take time. Shorter picture, I'm sure all of them are related. So we have to take care of ourselves spiritually, physically, mentally. That will help. It's proven that exercise is just as good as SSRIs, which are antidepressants. This has been proven now. Please exercise. Please get sunlight. Go outside. Sleep enough. Drink water. Eat good, healthy foods. Meditate. Then it will get better.
Do you know like scientifically like how grounding is good for you too?
It's
I
fun.
feel that.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. That's
Yeah.
something that I absolutely love is the grounding. Anti-inflammatory,
Mm.
it's better sleep, boost moods, and grounding or earthing as they call it in Korea is putting your bare feet on the earth
Mm.
because the earth has a magnetic field. So it actually is balancing you out. It's quite amazing. Actually, in Korea, you probably saw there too. They have earthing parks where
Mm.
people actually go and walk barefoot on the earth. It's so good for you. For me, I do that. I try to do it every day, and I talk to the Creator about everything that's going on in my life. I ask for guidance. I give gratitude. I feel really relaxed and free when I do that. That's a tangible thing. If you do that once, you'll feel really good,
Mm.
and you will want to keep doing it. Talk out loud. If you feel like people are going to think you're too crazy, then you can put AirPods on. Right?
I've actually started doing that in the car. Yeah, I talk out. Well, yeah, anywhere that I'm alone, but
It's
I talk out
helpful.
loud. Yeah.
It's helpful. But the creator's there, actually,
Mm.
always. How about Matthew? You had a lot of anxiety. What helped you with anxiety?
Well, definitely, of course, meditation. But I think like as we was talk about, I think it's like always seeing from outside yourself. There's many times where I feel like anxious or overwhelmed. Maybe it's something I have to do, or like I have so much to do, and then like if you just take time to like write it down, either like what's causing the anxiety or like write down like what you have to do. I'll write stuff down, be like, oh, this is really not that much. Like, why was I stressing over that? And it gets done pretty quickly. So I
Wow.
think a lot of it's just yeah, it's kind of we say stuck in our heads, and it's just kind of builds up. But I think if we can either, like I mean, like everything you suggested, like grounding, sleep, exercise, like journaling, like I think just doing stuff to get out of your head is one of the biggest things.
It's great advice. Journaling is something that's helped me so much too.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of amazing too when like we journal every day. It's like there's times where it's like I always try to write down like what's on my mind, and there's times like where it's not that much. And then the other day I was like writing and I just fill up the whole page with like it was like the first time I've ever like done that recently. I was like, oh crap, there's a lot of stuff in here. So
Mm.
kind of give me something to like reflect on and think about too.
You just when you do it, you do just mind dumping, just like whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, or like what kind of how do you do your journaling?
So I usually kind of structure it as like part of it is like mind like dumping, just whatever like thoughts or feelings I have, and then I also do like gratitude. I do wins and then like growth. So yeah, it's just like kind of saying, dumping out what's on my mind, like being grateful for like just reflecting on the day. 'Cause personally, I like to journal at the end of the day.
Mm,
Just I feel like I try it in the morning sometimes, but I feel like I like it at night better because I could actually look back on
right.
today. So like that for gratitude and then wins, just trying to like actually look at like what did I like accomplish today, and I think part of me is like it's also just trying to develop like a sense of like oh like I did this today, like acknowledging stuff I did well because like I feel like I used to be like very hard on myself or just
Totally
not have
agree.
a whole like maybe sense of pride in something I did. So yeah, acknowledging that and then growth is just like how can I improve today or like something I can do a little better.
I love that. It's very tangible advice for people.
Hmm.
Journaling is something I need to get better at for sure. It's yeah. Recently, I was doing some research on like public speaking too, and like how
Mm,
to improve with that. And one thing I forget her name, but this woman on YouTube, um, one of the first things she said is good to do is to get your thoughts out on paper, and then you can from there organize it and figure out what you actually want to say because if your mind is very jumbled, then what comes out is going to be very jumbled and not
mm,
make any sense.
mm.
And that's something I struggle with. um, yeah, because I do have a lot of thoughts sometimes that something in there makes sense, but actually putting it into coherent thoughts don't always make sense. Another thing that recently uh, I kind of realized too about like you were talking about pictures from your past and
Mm.
things in your mind. Um, Something that kind of clicked with me a little more recently was I was having a lot of thoughts about something. I don't remember what, but, and I realized that, like, if I have a lot of thoughts, that must mean I have a lot of pictures still to let go of. Um, and it kind of just gave me more of a sense of purpose to like really reflect and let those things go. Because I think like you get to a point, maybe for me, I don't know, in meditation where you're like, I've reflected so many times, there's no way there's more things in there. And then you go back and you're like, oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. It's like all these new things come up. And so, yeah, I've been like really taking my time lately, just like very slowly, painfully slowly, just going through everything in my life to kind of uh, see what I don't know, what I kind of missed before.
I love that. I think that's such a key point, because I know most of the people that listen to this are already members doing the method, so it's really helpful to always remind ourselves we have to always stay open. That's what we learn. There's no past. When I meditate, do you think the universe is like, oh, Blake, you meditated for 14 years and you don't really have to do? No, there's just right now. I need to open it up like I've never done it before. Every single time. We all do. We have to humble ourselves completely before the universe. We can't do it with ourselves. And then whatever comes, comes. And that's where I'm at. And that's what's there. And every day will be different. And even the same picture comes, it doesn't matter. Let it go. Even a new picture comes, let it go. And really, for people who maybe didn't start or just started, it getting completely open really, really helps you putting down all your walls to the universe. And with anxiety, I had so many facades too that you don't realize you have facades. But once you start to become aware that you have facades, it really helps. For example, I had a facade that, oh, I don't care about that, like in my head.
Mm.
When I started the meditation, I thought my problems were enemies I had at that time and worries about the future, things like this, and the things that I was going through at that moment. When I started to meditate, they told me to go through my life. It made sense, but I was also like, I don't care about that. What do I care about that? It was a block, it was a facade.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even find the pictures that you need to find. So, yes, I started to go for like really deep pictures that, okay, let's see if this one has anxiety. And wow, it did. Like my dad was in prison when I was a kid, but I still felt like I don't care about that. But when I go to look at that picture, there's so many things in there that I didn't even realize I had in there. I was scared. I was like, subconsciously, am I going to have to go through this when I'm older? Is this my future? Like things like this. And just the feeling of being scared. Wow, that was trapped inside me for how many years? That's why I had bad anxiety. So throw that away. So those kind of pictures. But then also randomly, I went to school and I have a shirt on that I liked. I thought it was cool. And somebody goes, yo, that shirt stinks or something like that. Right? Just to give an example. And then I got so angry about it or whatever and stuffed that picture down. Of course, as you're older, it's like, who cares? I was a kid, whatever. But it's not looking at it like that. It's looking at it objectively and just whatever the picture it is. Actually, I took in stress, anxiety, anger at the time. I need to release that. But if you just think you know and you think you know what to look for, you can't even find that kind of stuff. Even some small pictures are actually really significant, and you can cleanse those, and it's endless because all the time we took the pictures, right? And you start to your consciousness gets more. You start to see more pictures. You start to realize, wow, I didn't realize that I took in these things from TV. I didn't realize that I took in all these concepts about what it means to be a man, what it means to be happy, what it means to be successful, what's right, what's wrong, even spiritual wise, what's God, what's this, what's that. We need to cleanse everything because we're coming from the Creator. We need to give everything. So anyway, you have to have the courage to be open, and then it will come. And why you find it now after many years is because you're more open. And then you keep trying to get more. You find more and more and more, and be a person that knows nothing, like it says right there, every time. And then we can really find it. Yeah. Anxiety. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety. You like that song, Matthew?
I think I've only heard it on
You were just doing
Instagram.
you were just doing the dance.
What's that?
You were just doing What's the next one?
So the next thing is, how can I overcome feelings of loneliness and disconnection?
For this one, I'm going to give practical advice. First, I want to say that if you don't practice being comfortable with yourself and learning how to let go, you could always feel lonely even when you're around people. And I was at that point. Just like our topic this week is me who always feels like I don't fit in. You could always feel like that even you're around people because you just in your lonely on your own lonely world inside your head, you feel like I felt like nobody understands me, nobody really knows what I'm going through, and I wouldn't even share those kind of feelings because it's embarrassing to say, right?
Mhm.
But you feel lonely and like that. But practical advice is go get around people. Seriously. And try think stop how could I say a lot of our worries come from being self-centered, or at least mine did, but we don't recognize that. Think about like other people might feel lonely, even if they don't. Like so when you go somewhere, that person might feel lonely. So I'll greet them with a smile and say hello to them. Maybe that will make them feel better. Ask them about their day and really listen to them. Right? You don't want to be around people, go to the center and talk to people, say hello. Right? Call someone up, text a friend. I think whatever you're lacking, if you try to give that without expectation, it will come back. It's just something to say about that.
Mm.
Did you ever deal with loneliness, Matthew?
Nah, yeah, no, exactly what you said about feeling like lonely around other people. That was kind of like me before meditation. Is like actually like I felt more alone around people than I did by myself. And it was a lot of like you're like not belonging, not fitting in, or I think you're just maybe in a sense not knowing like who I am or what I like to do, and like just not feeling comfortable in myself, you know. Um, and so I think, yeah, I guess maybe like also like maybe kind of what our meditation does, getting in touch with our true self. So I think just yeah, yeah, I guess getting in touch with like kind of like who you are, what you like to do, and then maybe also like maybe even like sharing that with others too, and then like you said, yeah, spending time around other people. I think it's also spending time with people who I think like who kind of fill you up too, because you could spend
Mm,
time with the wrong people and that kind of maybe make it
true.
worse. So I think like finding like a good like supportive, positive group of people to surround yourself with.
Very true. You ever feel lonely, Leanne?
Yes. Yeah, that's a big, big thing for me. Um, but one thing that I was talking to someone about recently is that I was always very, very guarded, like
Mm,
very, just always on the defense. Like I felt like everyone was out to get me somehow, or like I assumed that people had were thinking bad about me or talking bad about me, and like or judging me in some way. And so anything anyone said to me, if it was like constructive criticism, then that confirmed in my mind that, oh, they're thinking bad about me or something like that. If they said something positive about me, they're patronizing me. Like they're lying. I don't know why, but like I could never accept a compliment, and I always took, if someone said something like negative, even if it was to be helpful, I would take it like way too harshly. Um, and that itself made me feel very isolated because I could not trust anyone around me. Like even the people I'm closest to, I would project it onto them, probably even more than strangers, because like you're the person I trust more, so therefore I'm more skeptical, like I'm more guarded in some way, like, or I'm more scared to like trust you because I don't know why, but I think
got
I'm
it.
trying to say, but
Can relate.
and so yeah, so that feeling made me feel very alone because, I mean, but I was doing it. Like I'm literally pushing those people out and like isolating myself, thinking that it's protecting me, I guess. But really, it's like creating the thing that you fear the most, which is to be alone and be isolated. So I think it's like a maybe self-sabotaging defense mechanism where it's like I'm going to do it to myself before you can do it to me, basically. Something like that, I think.
Did you find where that came from when you meditated? Like, what specific pictures are creating that for you?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I
You
have
don't have
some,
to share them, but I'm just saying.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have some ideas anyway. Yeah, there's definitely like one thing that I can say makes sense that I'm like, okay, it probably came from this.
That you tried to protect yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then some other things that maybe contribute, but definitely one thing that I'm like, yeah, that's probably where that came from.
Thank you for sharing about it.
Mm.
You're making me think of too. You know Einstein? You know who he is? Do you know what his most popular quote is? He has a lot of popular quotes, but they say his most popular quote is, if I don't get it 100% correct, you'll get the gist of it. But to decide whether you live in a hostile universe or friendly universe. The most important decision a human has to make is whether you live in a hostile universe or friendly universe. It's basically whether you're going to be optimistic or pessimistic, and it's also you get what you look for. That's how our mind works. I don't know if you want me to tell you a short, very short story, Matthew. Can I tell you?
Sure.
You might have heard this before. So people were traveling to a new town, and at the gate there was a man there who greets everyone, and he's greeting the people who came to the new town. And the people who are coming to the new town, they go, "Oh, how are the people here?" And the man who's guarding the gate goes, "How are the people from where you came?" And the person goes, "Oh, they were horrible, man. They were noisy. They were, I couldn't trust anyone, and yeah, just I didn't like the people." He goes, "Oh, I think you'll find them to be the same." And the people go in, and then the next car comes, and he goes, "Oh, how are the people here?" Asks the person who's guarding the gate. "Well, how are they from where you came from?" And they go, "Oh, they were great. They were loving. They were kind. They were positive." He goes, "I think you'll find them to be the same." That's just the short story. But basically, really, you get what you look for. And it's not about being naive. People are scared to be naive. I was scared to be naive too. You can have the heart, the purity of a child, and you can still have the wisdom of an adult. It's not about that you will get walked over and all those kind of things. You will be able to have boundaries and all of that, but you won't lean with that. You won't lean with that protection. And it's also when you lean with that, it happens to you more actually. But you will have wisdom. This is an energy thing. It's really an energy thing. I don't know if you ever realize that, like in like school, someone who's like scared, like the bully, like that, the bully like picks on that person, right? Or someone who like robs people and stuff. They're like the person who's like scared to get robbed gets robbed. It's very interesting like that. But anyway, you won't become naive. And back to your trust people is better. It's better to trust people. Humans are more trustworthy than we think. I don't know. I just heard this from Stephen Bartlett's podcast. You watch that sometimes, the Diary of a CEO. But anyway, there was some psychologist on there, and he said there was something. You might have heard of this on Twitter. There was something where women said they would rather be alone in a forest with a bear than a man. So that's how messed up our society has come. And look, I'm not saying blaming. You can blame both sides for the mindsets, right? And for things that actually do happen. Humans are scary in a lot of ways, but also we're still here, and there's peace. People are following the traffic. Like we don't give ourselves enough credit, right? We had the capability for a long time to blow up the entire world, but we didn't, right? We're still getting along. You can look at there's a lot of good happening. There's people who really try to go out and help people. There's all kinds of charity. There's all kinds of things going on. There's people doing good things, but we only look at obviously we want to end the wars and all those horrible things that go on too. But anyway, I believe we live in a friendly universe.
This is true.
Was that number 2 or number 3?
That was 3.
Cool.
There's 2 more.
Moving along.
The next thing is how can I handle or navigate social media fatigue?
Delete it.
That's question answered.
Seriously, I don't think. Yeah. We could do next. I don't think you need to be on it if it's giving you fatigue, or really something that I try to do is to be very intentional every time that I open the app. Why am I opening it? Am I trying to connect with others, see what my friends are doing and leave comments and connect? Am I going on to post and create and give content? Or am I going on for entertainment? Because I just want some entertainment right now. But what happens is, as you know, we just mindlessly go on, and maybe people who are experiencing that are experiencing comparing and all those kind of issues, I would guess. So it's also good to look at what's underneath, because if I really think we need to practice more as a whole, as a society, being happy for others, it makes you really happy. Like really try to practice. Why can't I be happy for others? Honestly, we have to look at ourselves. why is it that I get jealous of others? If I open up right now, my friends in France on a boat, like, great, man, enjoy. Why I have to be, oh, I don't have that, or I didn't do that. You have to look at yourself, really. And we have to be grateful for what we have, practice being happy for others. But also, you can delete the app. And like, I really, because I had so much, I can't say, anyway, the victim mentality really is like acting like we have no control. All these companies, they force it on us. And you have control. You can delete the app if you don't want to. Right? So take your power back and either limit the time, be intentional about what you do with the social media. Yeah, because you deserve to be happy. That's what I have to say about it. But I understand.
Yeah, I like what you said about being like intentional and kind of maybe taking stock of like the things and people you're following and stuff like that, because it's like um, yeah, kind of like how you watch your diet of what you put in your body. It's like your diet of what you're putting in your mind. It's kind of, I think, a lot of social media comes down to. You know, because I used to like follow, I think, like a bunch of like different pages and stuff, and like I realized like, okay, like even like the self-help pages, I feel like I was following a lot of them, but they always like made me overwhelmed because I'm like, I feel like they're just consuming all this, but I'm not doing anything with it, so it just makes me more anxious. So I eventually found out I was like, okay, I need to like not, be looking at that too, and like just sort of get more focused in on like what are the things I actually want to follow. Um, I mean, still I get stuck doom scrolling now and then, but I try to like limit that as much as possible. Yeah.
I think it's okay to give yourself grace too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we beat ourselves up so much if you did doom scrolling.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, Leanne? Do you get social media fatigue?
I wasn't totally sure what that meant at first, to be honest. Um, I definitely get caught up doom scrolling sometimes. Um, there was a point where I wasn't at all, and lately I feel like I have been more than before. Not really sure why. um, it's more like I go on for a specific reason, and then I get just like caught up in, which I think happens to a lot of people. It's like
Mm.
this weird addictive
Sure,
thing. Um,
sure.
Yeah.
I think like part of it could be that like before right now is a weird period where my schedule just shifted completely from like what I was doing the whole rest of the year. I was a little bit more under like this regiment, and right now it's a little more open. So I don't have as much of a structure, and then like I kind of fill that time with like doom scrolling, and I hate it actually. Sometimes like there's things that like are inspiring to see or do like you know I don't know, make you happy or whatever, entertained to some degree. And then there's like also moments where I'm like, I actually don't want to be on here anymore, and somehow I can't stop.
Mm.
So that part I want to definitely like, but it's just a choice, like you said. Like I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I know that uh, I just need to be intentional about. Okay, I want to not do this. I want to do something else. But yeah.
It's, it's awesome. I think people really relate.
Mm-hmm.
It's very relatable what you just said. That's why it's one of the number one things. And yeah, you being aware of it, that's already the first step. And I think anything that I've ever changed, and it's probably the same for either of you, anything that I've ever changed, it wasn't until I realized that the other way is better that I actually changed it. Because we're all
Mm-hmm.
like, we want what's better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're doing it in the first place. So it's like, oh, wait, like, I feel better when I don't drink. Then the next day I wake up energized and it's replaced by exercise. Like, oh, wait, I feel better. I'm actually happier and better.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever, if you find something to replace that with or let it go, and you're like, oh, when I do it less and I don't do that, I feel better. I sleep better. I overall have more energy. I feel better about myself. I feel more confidence. Oh, that actually feels better. I'm going to take up reading books, or I'm going to walk even more, get more steps in and listen to a podcast while I walk. I feel better when I do that than when I doom scroll, or I'm going to walk and talk like we just talked about, or I'm going to journal, or I'm going to meditate, or
Mm.
exercise, or call a friend, or whatever. When I'm doom scroll, you can replace it, right? When I'm doom scroll, hey, Let me pause it. Who's someone who I haven't called in a while that I want to check in on and how they're doing? Let me look through my phone and see. And that might be better than, or at least sending a text or whatever. You could do something because your mind wants to do something and it wants connection and all those things that you're trying to fill that void with the scrolling. But as long as you don't replace it with like heavy drugs or like stuffing your face with sugar, it's okay once in a while. But
One thing I have actually gotten better at in the last couple months is I did replace like nighttime phone use with reading. So like it's now become a routine that like I don't use my phone X amount of time before bed, and then I just pick up a book.
Has
So
it helped you? Do you feel better when you wake up, etc.? If you do that on the days you do that?
I sleep better. Yeah,
No doubt.
when that's the last, yeah.
How valuable is that?
Yeah.
That's another thing we overcomplicate sometimes too. It's like it's pretty obvious why you're not sleeping well. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm not sleeping well. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like you're scrolling on your phone like for hours before you go to bed, like getting light in your eyes and experiencing all those different emotions. And you're eating right before bed or whatever. That's awesome. Read before bed. I love that. Meditate before bed is key. So even just 5 minutes meditating before bed helps you a lot.
I also don't let myself eat like past 10 p.m. Sometimes earlier, but that's my cutoff. That was 10 p.m.
It's good. Last one.
And last is, I know this is hard without context, but it said, why am I not feeling fulfilled? Or why am I not feeling fulfilled even though I do things that I think I like to do or something like that.
Matthew hit on it some before. Where I'm going to go with this is what makes me fulfilled. And I do believe you can do different things if you have this. What I'm going to say is I never felt fulfilled until I had a relationship with the Creator. I think every single problem we have is because we're separate from the Creator. For me, I like that word Creator, whether you like universe, God, Buddha, Allah, the truth. When we're disconnect, the present moment, nature, whichever words you like to use, when we're separate from that existence, we don't have fulfillment. That existence is life itself. And when we don't live as our true self, you are not your body. You are in your body. And it's that you that you must find while you're alive. It's a quote from our meditation founder. But we're so confused that we're this body. And then we just live for the flesh and we live just, when can I get this? When can I get that? You're never going to be fulfilled no matter what you get. Whether you think right now a love relationship is going to make you fulfilled, money is going to make you fulfilled, whatever. People already did it before you. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes, right? It's not saying that you can't get those things, like that's great, but look up other people who did that make them fulfilled completely? You know what I'm saying? Then you can see. There's been billionaires who have committed suicide, so that there's nothing wrong with money, but it means that that's not going to fulfill you at the end of the day. Anyway, just in my experience, the Creator is 100% real. That's something that the universe, that's something that meditation has helped me. I'm so thankful to be able to realize that. At the time that I started meditation, I was back on a path of probably God exists. Most of my life I was probably God exists, but some of my life I was not sure. Meditation helped me to be like, I think we talked about it before, you never played poker before, but you can understand the example. If I have like all the money to bet, right? And I could bet some here and some here. Like still probably the time that I started meditation, still like I can't rule out like maybe I'm gonna go 95-5 or 90-10, like that there's not God. You know what I'm saying? But with meditation, like I'm 100% have conviction that there is the Creator, and then having a relationship with the Creator and unifying with the Creator, that brings so much fulfillment. And doing meditation where you can let go of everything that's blocking you from being one with the Creator will relieve and will make you unite with the Creator. So that's what I feel, and it makes you feel wrapped in love from that existence that will love you no matter what and is always with you. That's what I have to say about that. So anyone who's listening to this, I really wish you to have fulfillment and peace and love. Matthew, Poppy. You don't know Matthew's name is Matthew Poppy. If you watch this long, then you have to write Matthew Poppy in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I really like agree with everything you said. I think connecting with that higher power, whatever you want to call it, I think is gives a lot of like sense of purpose and fulfillment. Um, Also, if you've ever like people have ever heard like that Japanese term ikigai,
Mm.
which is like I think it's like really like I think it's ultimately like finding something, of course, that you're good at and that the world needs, which for me just means it's like you're kind of serving a purpose that's like bigger than yourself. Like I think if you're just sort of living for yourself, or like that's why you could get all the money and all the things in the world, but like if you're only doing that for yourself, then I think it's kind of like it's always empty. But I think if you want to do things to like maybe serve others or to just contribute to the world in some way, even like in like self-help books I read before meditation, it's like I forget which book, but it says like your purpose here is to like kind of like find out what you're meant to do and then do it, and I think that also like fits into like that whole of like just contributing whatever you're meant to contribute in this lifetime.
I love that. I didn't even say that. I totally agree. Wow, living for others can be fulfillment. Leanne, what's fulfillment? What fulfills you?
Yeah, what comes to mind, definitely, yeah, what you just said. But something else I realize is like whenever there's this thing called what's it? Post perform or post, oh my God, what is it called?
The music thing after
Well,
performance, or
yeah, I was gonna say post performance blues, but I know there's other
Mm.
terms for it. Like
Yeah.
basically, like when you do something that gives you
Mm-hmm.
that high,
Mm-hmm.
there's always that
Yep.
come down
Yep.
afterwards. And like I would always fall into that cycle. Like every time I was looking forward to doing something, and then I finally did it, afterwards I would just drop into this depression. Like, what now? And but kind of going back to what you said about having that connection inside of you, I remember like the first time that really hit me, I think like last year, that I really felt for the first time like totally loved by the universe. And like that was when I was like, wow, like that's such an invaluable feeling to know that like that existence, I guess, is just like always there for you, always loving you, always supporting you. And it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you get the job or the relationship or the whatever. Like, none of that stuff really mattered anyway. But like to find that was like, yeah, it's a really grateful moment.
That's really beautiful. That was really beautiful. I think this was really good. I think there's a lot of tangible, helpful advice. I loved everything you guys said too. Got to learn from you. Have a really nice, meaningful conversation.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Blake.
Thank you for listening. If
Yeah.
you listen, wish you peace.
Hope someone gained something from this.
Thank you for listening to Cham Chats. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and follow us on social media. All of the links are in the description. And if you're interested in trying this meditation method yourself, you can visit onlinemeditationevents.com for online classes or to be connected to a center near you. See you next time.